To get your results, you will send an SMS. Include your full index, that is 11 digits, followed by the initial KCSE, and send this to 20076. Your full index number, the 11 digits, KCSE, send to 20076.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for assembling here this morning for this exercise of releasing the 2022 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education Examination results. We have found it wise to release the results early to allow our 881,416 candidates who concluded the examinations on the eve of Christmas Day on December 23rd, 2022 to join various higher learning institutions to pursue careers as the year 2023 begins. This creditable achievement in the marking process couldn't have been possible here if it not that grade 7 runners will report their respective schools on January 30th, 2023. Additionally, I also announced that the government will spend 9.6 billion on capitation grants to runners of junior secondary school for term 1 and term 2 of 2023, with each of them receiving an individual capitation of 15,000 per year. In the next financial year, the government will spend 18 billion for the junior secondary school runners capitation grants. Further to this, I now wish to state that of the 15,000 that will be released for each runner, 4,000 will be spent on the development of infrastructure, with the greatest priority being on reparatories. And here I want to assure Kenyans that indeed we are working very closely with members of parliament and chairman of the Committee on Education. I want to thank you for the initiative you have taken, such that as we give the 4,000 out of the 15,000 for building reparatories, I'm aware that the members of parliament will also be able to set aside money out of CDF so that we are able to embark and ensure that we put up reparatory this year. I'm also happy that going forward, probably by next week, we will be able to make an announcement, because we are negotiating with the World Bank, where they will be able to give us some funds to put up about 7,000 also reparatories countrywide, such that as far as infrastructure is concerned, we will be ready to go. Further to the guidelines I announced last week, I wish to announce that the President this morning accepted the Ministry's interim guidelines, including the following. The Board of Management of a primary school that domiciles the junior secondary school will constitute a special subcommittee to spearhead the management of education and the resources of the school. The head of the primary school that domiciles the junior secondary school will serve as a secretary, while the chairperson will be a member of the committee. All private junior secondary schools will establish and operationalize board of management, boards of directors, or boards of trustees in accordance with Section 52A of the Basic Education Act 2013. A public junior secondary school will be headed by the head teacher of the public primary school that domiciles it during the interim period of the transition ending December 30th, 2023. The Ministry of Education has re-engineered the National Education Management Information System, commonly known as NEMIS, in readiness for enhancement of management of education data. Registration of runners in NEMIS will form the basis for disbursement of funds to public junior secondary schools, and I want to repeat that anybody who is not captured in NEMIS will not be able to be a beneficiary of the capitation funds. So the head teachers have to ensure that as runners are reporting to schools, they are properly captured in NEMIS. Textbooks and hard copies of the grade 7 curriculum designs will be made available for all schools. That one, we are making sure that all the required textbooks will be delivered the first week as the schools open on 30th. NEC will provide guidelines on the conduct of assessments at the junior secondary school, because as you are aware, we have formative and normative. Formative now forming about 60%, and this will be a continuous process, and we are happy that what NEC has done so far, there are instruments which are quite objective in measuring the continuous assessment in our junior secondary school. The infrastructure and the resources of existing primary schools will be utilized by the respective domiciled junior secondary school in the interim 1 year of transition. This applies to special needs junior secondary school as well. The Ministry of Education, through the Kenya Education Management Institute, has developed a curriculum and training materials to build the capacity of education managers, including junior secondary school management boards and the school heads, on governance and accountability in the leadership of junior secondary school. The curriculum will also apply during the induction of the school heads on institutional and instructional leadership. Comprehensive guidelines will be issued to schools in a circular to be released by my ministry next week. These guidelines have been validated by stakeholders to spell out the general provisions to be adopted by institutions, organizations, and stakeholders in order to fast-track operationalization of junior secondary school across the 1 year transitional period. The guidelines are interim while awaiting the full report of the Presidential Working Party, which is expected towards the end of March. I wish to thank my cabinet colleagues, Professor Kithure Kindiki and Honorable Owaro, who head the Ministry of Interior and Administration of National Government and ICT respectively, for working with the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders to ensure success in the administration of the KCSE examination of 2022. Most of you by now know that President William Samoei Ruto is a firm believer of the TVET education. I therefore wish to urge all the stakeholders in this sector to rise up and be counted as we institute far-reaching reforms in the sector as could be recommended by the Presidential Working Party. My Principal Secretary for TVET and the semi-autonomous agencies in my ministry, including the Kenya National Qualification Authority and the Kenya universities and the colleges Central Placement Service, must prepare to work to ensure that the agenda of TVET remains robust and able to spur the economy of Kenya through the production of a well-trained youth. I therefore direct the Kenya universities and the colleges Central Placement Service to move with speed and establish the number of places available in our universities, colleges, and the TVET institutions to enable the immediate commencement of the placement exercise. And as I'm going to say shortly, the numbers that we have this year for university, I think all our public universities will be able to get enough students as well as our private universities. And we also have a good number that our TVET institutions will be able to admit. The placement service should also engage with the higher education regulatory boards, Commission for University Education, and the Technical and Vocational Education and the Training Authority to ensure that all running institutions are prepared to enroll new students. This is in line with providing fair and the parents access to quality and relevant higher education and the training and the government policy of 100% transition. I also wish to announce that the government is keen to ensure that the credibility and authenticity of qualifications and the certificates that we get from our education and the training institutions remain of a high quality. To that end, we have developed a system for articulation, classification, registration, and accreditation and quality assurance of national qualifications. I hereby directed the Kenya National Qualification Authority to ensure that the national qualification framework is fully implemented, as this will ensure and enhance the quality, relevance, and authenticity of qualifications, not just locally but globally. This will also promote portability of our qualifications and the mobility of labor. So far as you know, our education standards in the region and even globally are among the best as it can be compared with others. Finally, on this point, I declare that all the candidates who sat the KCSE examination in 2022 have already avenues to progress to other levels of education, as we seek to leave no runner behind in career development. All these candidates have a destiny, and the government is determined to clear the path for them to reach that destiny. As I have already stated, 881,416 candidates sat the 2022 KCSE examinations, compared with 826,807 candidates in 2021. This represented an increase of 54,609 candidates, that being 6.60%. Of the total number of candidates that sat the 2022 KCSE examination, 443,644 were male, while 437,772 were female, representing 50.33% and 49.69% of the total candidature, respectively. This statistic means the country has achieved gender parity in much the same way as we have done at the primary school level. 14 counties had more male than female candidates in the 2022 KCSE examination, compared to 17 counties in 2021. These were Mombasa, Kilifi, Tana River, Lamu, Turkana, Samburu, West Pokot, Kajiado, Narok, Homa Bay, Migori, Garissa, Wajir, and Mandera. 17 counties with high gender disparity in favor of female candidates during the 2022 KCSE examinations included Kirinyaga, Kiambu, Kitui, Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Vihiga, and Kisumu. In the 2022 KCSE examination, 17 subjects recorded a significant improvement in performance, compared with 11 subjects that recorded a significant improvement in performance in 2021. There was no significant change in performance in 4 of the subjects over during the 2022 KCSE examination. There were 1,146, making 0.13% candidates who obtained an overall A grade in the 2022 examinations, compared with 1,138, which was 0.14% candidates in 2021. On the other hand, the number of candidates with minimum university entry qualification of grade C plus and above has risen to 173,345, forming 19.03% in the year 2022 KCSE examination, compared to 145,776, which was 17.55% in 2021. The number of candidates with mean grade D plus and above in the 2022 KCSE examination is 522,588, which is 59.14%, compared with 442,251, which was 53.29% in 2021. Encouragingly, the number of candidates obtaining a mean grade of E declined significantly to 30,822, which is only 3.49%, despite the increase in candidature, compared with 46,151, which was 5.56% in 2022. This clearly leads us to conclude that most of the candidates scored grades of higher quality. Most significantly, all the remaining candidates are eligible to join TVET institutions, teacher training colleges, medical training colleges, and other tertiary learning institutions for various courses. The breakdown for the various grades is as follows. A, female, we have 271 getting an A. Male, we have 875. A minus, 1,962 female. Male, 4,445. B plus, we have female, 6,104. Male, 9,578. B grade, female 13,520, male 17,783, P minus 21,474, that is female, male 27,245, C plus, we have 33,138 female, while male we have 36,950, which means that the male in this particular category have done better, and I hope going forward the female will also be able to improve, so that at least we have some kind of balance. C, female, we have 49,191. Male, we have 45,963. In this particular one, female have done better than their male counterparts. C minus, again, female 62,599. Male 56,469. Again here, female have done better than men. D plus, we have female 70,238. Male, we have 64,783. Again here, female have done better than male. D, we have 79,935 female, 75,545 male. D minus, we have female 84,075, male 83,683. E, female, we have 12,760, male 18,062. There were 190 candidates, that is 8.80% with special needs, who obtained an overall grade C plus and above in the 2022 KCSE examination. Candidates will correct their results from their respective examination centers. Individual candidate results can also be accessed by sending a candidate's index number followed by the initials KCSE through a short message service SMS to number 20076. I repeat again, you write KCSE and then your index number, and then you send it to number 20076, and you will be able to access your result of the KCSE examination immediately after this. It is now my humble duty and privilege to declare the 2022 KCSE examination results officially released. I wish all the candidates success in their future endeavor. Thank you, and God bless you.